Welcome to Debbie's Grill, where we talk about issues that matter to the state, void of politics, fear, or favor. Professor Prof Aryeetey, former Vice Chancellor of the University of Ghana, says Ghana's democratic struggles are not due to flaws in the constitution, but stems from how the country's political culture has evolved under democracy. Speaking in an interview, Professor Aryeetey argued that while democracy in Africa has not delivered as expected, it has not failed the continent. Instead, he believes African nations, including Ghana, have failed to use democracy effectively. Democracy has not delivered what it should for Africa. Focusing on Ghana, Mr. Aryeetey noted that the real issue is not the constitutional framework, but those entrusted with enforcing it. He criticized the political culture that has developed in Ghana, saying it prioritizes power over governance. So that's former Vice Chancellor of the University of Ghana, Professor Ernest Aryeetey. Well, for long, I knew that democracy did not help us as a country. Not democracy not helping us as a country, but democracy did not help African countries. No, it didn't. I feel like we've taken advantage of democracy and we are doing things our own way. Democracy, they say Kenya bad. Yeah, it's true. But I feel like we have abused it. And we are using it in our own way. Democracy has to do with giving a voice to all people. It's not going to be an authoritative country. It's not going to be autocratic. And I feel like something is not wrong. I can speak it out. Everybody equally can speak it out. Regardless of the position you hold in office, where you are coming from, the religion or the region you are affiliated to, or the tribe. And democracy also has taught us that, well, as you lead the people or as the people come together and they feel like, well, this person can actually bring something or help in the improvement and the development of a country, and you've been given the nod. Democracy states that we should be able to hold these people accountable. And you should be able to deliver according to your promises. You should be fair and transparent. You should be able to fight corruption. You see, in an autocratic state or a country that is very authoritative and is being ruled by one person without hearing the voice of another person, look at the country very well. They are forced to subject to one rule. You cannot do what you feel like. A directive that is given, that is what you're supposed to abide with. Even if the leader is giving a directive that is bad, you cannot object it. You just have to follow because that is how it is. And then came democracy. And this is how far we've come as a democratic country. And I'll say this and I'll continue to say it. Democracy did not help us as Ghanaians. We've abused democracy. Since democracy came, what at all can we actually hit our chest and say that, well, since we've gained independence with democracy as our hallmark, this is what we're able to do. This is what we're able to stand on our grounds and then fight against it. Mr. Aryeetey, however, is saying that democracy as it is good, but it's because the leaders we have are not enforcing or are not going by what democracy is all about. And in a way, he's right. In a way, he's equally right. Because our leaders seems to do whatever they feel like is right. And they don't even care. Especially our politicians. Someone can actually commit a crime. A heinous crime of that sort. Not the democracy at baton. They'll be like, oh, say we have democracy. So what? Does democracy state that you can do whatever you want to do without being held accountable? Does democracy state that you can embezzle from the state and not refund the money? Is that how democracy is about? Does democracy state that when money is being allocated for a project, it should be diverted into a private account? Is that what democracy is about? Does democracy state that a government that comes into power should not continue the project of another government? Does democracy state that? Does it? If it doesn't, then we should be asking ourselves a lot of questions. Because I feel like democracy has done us more harm than good. Imagine those times when Rawlings was the president. Then I wasn't born, but then I've heard histories. There are certain things you can't do. No. There are certain things you can't do. Immediately you are being caught. Either you are being killed or you are being pushed into the jail to serve your term. And so everything was in order. You cannot just do anything at all as a leader and then you are allowed to go scot-free. No, it doesn't work like that. But when democracy came, we felt so reluctant. And then we are doing what we feel like. And the same people told us that, they are not enforcing it. They are not enforcing it. Isn't it sad that we live in a country where a government comes on board, starts with a project, and then the next government that comes after him or her refuses to complete it? Just because I wouldn't be given the credit that I started it. And so the other party will not complete it. Forgetting that that project was not your money. It was the taxpayers' money. And in Ghana, every day we pay tax. If you know you wake up in the morning, the first thing that greets you is a tax. You pay tax every day. But we don't see what we've been paying for. We don't see it. We don't see what our monies have been used for. And then we cannot even question the people. We cannot even question the people we called our leaders. We cannot. And then you sit at your comfort zone and tell me that democracy has helped us as a country. We cannot question them. We cannot even hold them accountable. We can't. And anytime you try to speak, they see you as a threat to the government. And so they find every possible means to eliminate you. Is that what we want? We see people embezzled from the state. There is nothing we can do. And this keeps on happening consistently. And now, Betty, the Sisi Kayura, since I was born, I was never told that money has wings or money has legs. So you're trying to tell me that the money in the state coffers, or the money that was actually being disbursed into a particular project, ran on its own? It doesn't happen that way. It is human. It is the same people we call leaders. It is the same people who entrusted power into their hands. It's the same people who promised us that they are going to do as they've said. It is the same people who told us that we should be citizens and not spectators. Now we cannot even be citizens any longer. We just have to be spectators. Because anytime you try to be a citizen, asemaba. If it will be possible to reverse back, I feel like we should go back to those days. And sometimes I feel like I say ya pen temkra adi ehun temkra dodo. And now we are suffering. Imagine we are still in the regime of the Rawlings time. Can you like all these things, we wouldn't see it. If we claim to be a democratic country, then let's act as such. Thank you for making time with me on The Girl.